Hello, everyone. Welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live on Monday and Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Here's my contact information. Best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comment, and content related to the topics of my presentation and the topics of the channel that I'll go through in just a moment. I'm also on X. My name there is @DougPless. Hello, RJ. Welcome. Glad you're here. I have several announcements. First of all, Bookmap is encouraging everyone to join Discord. There are a lot of benefits, and you do need a Bookmap subscription to fully participate in the Bookmap Discord and the chat and watch the streams. There's a free subscription available. Once you subscribe, you will need to verify your account in Bookmap Discord, and then again, you can fully participate and take advantage of all the benefits in Bookmap Discord. Right now, there are a couple of sales going on. First of all, the Black Friday sale continues through this Friday. Next, the Cyber Monday sale continues through December 12th. And then finally, there's a futures trading competition coming up December 10th through the 12th. And you can go to competition.bookmap.com to sign up and for more information. Here are the key tenets to my approach for trading. This is the basis of my approach for trading. I believe that options trades and market maker hedging activity are key drivers of price in many stocks and futures. Certainly in the large cap tech stocks like the Magnificent Seven stocks that I follow and trade, as well as the equity index futures like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. And for the S&P 500, SPX is the underlying index, SPY is the ETF version of that index, and the ES futures contract is a derivative of SPX. And when traders buy and sell puts and calls in SPX and SPY, market makers take the opposite side of those trades and they hedge their delta exposure with ES futures. And for the NASDAQ 100, NDX is the underlying index. QQQ is the much more liquid ETF version of that index, and the NQ futures contract is a derivative of NDX. And when traders buy and sell puts and calls in NDX and QQQ, market makers take the opposite side of those trades and they hedge their delta exposure with NQ futures. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading. The first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as a directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. I look at real-time order flow on Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow on Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis. And for setups, and when I talk about setups today, I will be focusing on an underlying asset. Setups in that asset can be taken with futures contracts, shares of stock, or options, depending on the way you like to trade, as well as the asset. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel as well as the chat and YouTube for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Here's my agenda for today, Wednesday, December 4th. First of all, I want to go over news items, economic data, and events for the week. And then I'll go through my positional analysis. And then I'll take a look at I'll review some setups today. Then I'll review the live market. Take a look at the live market. And when I get to the live market, if anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do that. All right, let's get started with news items. So first of all, today, there were a couple of data releases this morning. At 9:45 a.m., S&P Services PMI came out, and that was less than expected, less than the previous number, but greater than 50, still indicating expansion. And the same for the ISM Services PMI that came out at 10 a.m., less than expected, less than the previous number, but still greater than 50. All right, note also Jerome Powell is speaking at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, and that should be in just a few minutes at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time today. And I believe that may be an interview. All right, for the rest of the week, tomorrow, jobless claims, and then the big data release of the week is the jobs report that comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, and then Michigan Consumer Sentiment at 10 a.m. on Friday. All right, so that wraps up the news items for this week. Again, we'll take a look at the market at around 1:45 when Jerome Powell starts to speak. All right, let's move on to positional analysis now. I'm going to start with the SP 500. This is the ES Futures and Bookmap. Trading at a very narrow range today. This is indicative of a strongly positive gamma environment. So again, this is the ES Futures and Bookmap. Before I take a closer look at this chart, I want to take a look at a higher time frame. I'm going to go to SPX, the underlying index. Rally continues. SPX continues to make new highs. All right, so that was the Thinkorswim 1 day, 1 year chart. Let's take a look at a 30-day, 1 hour chart. Get a closer look at the recent price action. Again, this is SPX, Thinkorswim, 1 day, 30-day, 1 hour chart. Post-election rally. Resistance around 6,000, which was the call wall at the time. Pull back to around 58.50, and then the rally resumed, making new highs. All right, let's take a look at the levels on this chart. First of all, the dashed purple lines are showing the lower and upper weekly expected move. This is based on the options market, based on the closing price for SPX from last Friday. Those levels remain in place for the entire week. Next, the dashed blue lines are showing the lower and upper daily expected move, also based on the options market. Based on the closing price for SPX from last Friday, looks like that level, along with a combo level, was resistance today. We'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. All right, so those are the expected moves. SPX still trading within the weekly expected move, but bumping up against the upper daily expected move. All right, let's take a look at the Spotgamma levels on this chart. These are the dark red lines. They're based on gamma-weighted open interest. I want to point out the key daily levels. First of all, the put wall remains at 5,800. That's a strike with largest net negative gamma that can be expected to act as support. And the next level up is the absolute gamma strike at 6,000. That's this L1. Hello, Stephen. Welcome. Glad you're here. 6,000 L1. Absolute gamma strike. That's where most of the gamma-weighted open interest is concentrated. That's the strike with the largest absolute positive and negative gamma. And above that is the volatility trigger at 60.35. That is Spotgamma's proprietary volatility and gamma flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure. That tends to enhance or increase volatility. Above that level, like SPX is trading now, I mentioned that before, in a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure. That tends to subdue or decrease volatility and leads to more range days and mean reverting price action. Buy the dips and sell the rips. So that's the volatility trigger. Then above that is the call wall, remains at 6,100. That's a strike with a large net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance. All right, as far as shifts in levels go for the S&P 500, the volatility trigger did shift higher for SPX and SPY, and no other levels shifted up or down, just the volatility triggers. And those typically move almost every day. All right, let's wrap up our view of SPX with a 1-minute chart. This is SPX 1-minute chart. This is showing price action for 2 days. And that's because I want to show the volatility trigger down here at 60.35. And then around this level has acted as a resistance. That is the 6,074 combo 3 level and also the upper daily expected move. And SPX spent a lot of time at that level, now trading lower down toward this combo 2 level at 60.62 that acted as support this morning. So SPX moving in between those two combo levels that combine SPX and SPY gamma weighted open interest into one level in this case in terms of SPX price. All right, let's go to Bookmap now. Now Bookmap, I have my own levels to show SPX and SPY levels, as well as key ES levels. I'm using the price lines add-on for that. So you can see the SPX combo 2 level there, and that is the SPY 605 absolute gamma strike call wall. Just below that, that level really acted as support. And then there's that 6,074 combo 3 level. That was also noted as resistance in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. So those are the 3 levels in play for today. The SPY 605 level, just above that, the SPX 6062 combo 2 level, and as resistance, the 6,074 combo 3 level. All right, that's SPX. I'll talk about setups in just a few minutes. Note there's a difference in price between ES and SPX, and that is approaching zero as the contract rollover, contract expiration approaches in a couple weeks. All right, the price difference today is right around 13 points. All right, so I'm showing this 6,062 level, that's SPX, at ES 6,075. So I'm using 13 points. And I do post those index relationships that I use every day in Discord. All right, that's the S&P 500, trading on very narrow range and a strongly positive gamma. And again, just like Monday and Tuesday, the action has really been more in the NASDAQ and large cap tech stocks rather than the S&P 500. So this is the NASDAQ, the NQ futures and Bookmap. Let's take a look at the underlying index charts, then we'll get back to Bookmap. Let's start with QQQ. I'm showing price action from yesterday, overnight, and the gray shaded area in the middle, and then price action again today. Just a very mechanical uptrend. Let's take a look at some key levels on this chart. First, volatility trigger 516. That level did move up from yesterday. And the call wall remains at 520. That level acted as support today. So QQQ trading above its call wall at 520. So technically overbought at this point. And so far again, QQQ also trading at a narrow range after a move higher this morning in between 521 and 522. All right, so that's QQQ. We can zoom in on this now. Whoops. Get a closer look at price action for today. Very narrow range, but still more than the S&P 500. All right, let's take a look at NDX now. Combo level down below, C1 level, important combo level. And then this two levels here, this is a 21,400 large gamma 4 level acting as resistance, now support, and there's a combo level just below that. So that's 21,400 for NDX. All right, back to Bookmap. So in Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes. So again, I can show NDX levels, QQQ levels, as well as key NQ levels on this chart. So there's the NDX 21,400 level, around that level of support. Just above that, the QQQ 520 call wall. And then there's this 21,400 large gamma 4 level, now acting around that level, acting as support. Note the index, NASDAQ NQ is a very large contract. It typically does not tag the support and resistance levels to the tick. And we'll talk about, I'll talk about setups in just a few minutes. All right, so that's the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, both trading in a pretty narrow range, but a little bit more movement in NASDAQ, especially this morning. All right, let's wrap up positional analysis by taking a look at Gamma. Start with Gamma Notional, market makers Gamma Notional at the beginning of the day today. Hello, oh boy, welcome, glad you're here. All right, so this is market maker's position on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. For the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Russell 2000. Note with the exception of RUT, these numbers are positive. And for SPX, SPY, and NDX, these numbers did shift higher from yesterday, but all lower than Monday. Monday was significantly strong, positive gamma. Still positive gamma, but lower than Monday, but higher than Tuesday. QQQ, Gamma Notional did shift down just a little bit. RUT, as I mentioned, did shift down, and IWM shifted higher, but mostly positive gamma. So for an index, Spotgamma assumes that traders are long calls, traders are short calls, market makers are long calls, hence the positive gamma, they have to trade against price. So that's a positive gamma environment. Well, let's take a look now at a real-time view of gamma. So this is the trace tool available to Spotgamma subscribers. The blue areas, blue shading, showing positive gamma. This is showing the very strong positive gamma for SPX. So SPX trading again at very strong positive gamma. And you can see the concentrations of positive gamma and the GEX bars, gamma exposure bars over on the left here. And there is a pocket of negative gamma up above. And note this is let's check these strikes. All right, so this is the JP Morgan collar, short call, and the JP Morgan collar. That expires at the end of the month. And it looks like this gamma is building right here at 6,070. And that could be a potential end of day target. We'll take a closer look at that in just a few minutes. Let's step back and see how gamma has progressed during the day. I'm going to go back to earlier in the day. Let's go back to about 9:40, just after the open. All right, so there's the JP Morgan collar strike, 6,055. Let's check that 70 level. All right, so the 70 level, 28.3 million. Now let's step through time. You can see that 70 level building. So it looks like traders are selling calls at that level. Market makers buying the calls. All right, so that's the current view of gamma, very positive gamma. All right, so based on this, my thesis for the day, look, I was looking for low volatility, and there weren't enough shifts in key day levels to make any judgment. The only levels that shifted higher in S&P 500 and NASDAQ, again, the volatility triggers in SPX, SPY, and QQQ. All the put walls, call walls, and absolute gamma strikes all remained unchanged from yesterday. All right, let's move on now. Let's move on to execution. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. As always, I'm going to start by taking a look at what options traders are doing today. And to do that, I'm going to use the Hero chart. This is available to Spotgamma subscribers. Hero is hedging impact real-time options. What this chart is showing is options trades and market maker hedging activity in real time. So we're moving on from planning now to execution. Starting with the S&P 500, this is the index signal, the Hero index signal, showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal of SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. There's two lines on this chart. The white line is price for SPX, and the purple line is the Hero signal. And a rising Hero signal indicates traders are taking positive delta options positions. They're buying calls and or selling puts. In this case, we'll see that traders have been buying calls. And a falling Hero signal, I believe also selling puts. We'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. And a falling Hero signal indicates traders are taking negative delta options positions. They're buying puts and or selling calls. All right, that's the index signal. The other signal that we can take a look at for the S&P 500 is the equity signal. What this chart is showing is options trades and market maker hedging activity for all 500 stocks in the S&P 500 index. Again, two lines on this chart. The white line is price for SPX, and the purple line is the hero signal. And we can see that the hero signal has been was rising from the open. Rising from the open up until about 12:30. And you know, we forgot to take a look at the S&P 500 when Jerome Powell was speaking. Let's go back to Bookmap. So that was at 1:45 he began to speak. So it looks like the S&P 500 started to move higher before he was speaking. Maybe he went early. I don't know. Give me just a moment. I'll check CNBC. All right, so CNBC is interviewing Jerome Powell right now. So it looks like the market likes it, whatever he had to say. So now ES is breaking above that 6,074 level, or at least trying to. All right, back to Hero. All right, I'm going to shift over to puts and calls. All right, so again, this is the S&P 500 equities. This shows that traders have been buying calls all day. Put line is, so the call line is the orange line. When traders buy calls, market makers sell the calls. They have to buy stock, in this case, to hedge their delta exposure. So this is what is really driving price today, just like Monday. So that's the equity signal. Here's the index signal. Hero's a little bit slow today. So traders are buying calls in the S&P 500 index components as well. So in this case today, both the equity signal and the index signal are in an agreement. Traders are buying calls in all those instruments. And in the case of the index signal here, when traders buy calls, market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy ES futures to hedge their delta exposure. All right, let's go back to Bookmap. Take a look at this morning. I'm going to turn this off, this market pulse price change, just to get a more clear view of the other indicators in the subchart. All right, so this is the ES futures and Bookmap. And if you were patient, didn't try to trade the open, there was a great entry point around 10:15, 10:20. Let's take a closer look at that. So the volume dots in Bookmap show market buy minus sell, market orders buy minus buy market orders minus buy sell orders. Let me zoom in on that. Magenta dots show more sellers than buyers. Green volume dots show more buyers than sellers. So you can see as price was moving down, there were a lot of aggressive sellers. Small volume dot right at the bottom. Sellers are exhausted, and a lot of aggressive buyers come in. So you can see the rising cumulative volume delta, that's a dark blue line. Also, stop orders, buy stop orders, help to fuel that move higher. That's shown by the rising yellow line. And its price moves from SPX 6,062 to 6,074. All right, so there's the long entry this morning. Clues in Bookmap. Looks like a little volatility is coming in as Jerome Powell is speaking. All right, so that was the long entry this morning. Then mostly chop after that until a sharp move lower. Let's see what options traders are doing later on in the day. All right, so that's the S&P 500 signal. Let's go to full screen. Go to the equity signal. So neither one really signaled this move lower that started right around 1. All right, so that's the S&P 500. Now chopping around as Jerome Powell is speaking. All right, let's move on to NASDAQ again. More action in NASDAQ today. So let's take a look. I'm going to leave puts and calls separated. So this is the equivalent to the index signal for the NASDAQ, showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal of NDX and QQQ. So you can see in the morning, traders were buying calls, shown by the rising orange line, also selling puts. Then they started buying puts, stopped selling calls right around 11 or so, then price consolidated. Well, let's take a look at Mag 7. So this is equivalent to the S&P 500 equities signal, which is really the Mag 7 plus 493. And this is really what has been driving the market today. Traders buying calls in the Mag 7 stocks. When traders buy calls, market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. And this is the key driver of price today. And it looks like they took their foot off the gas right around 12:30. Well, let's go to NASDAQ in Bookmap NQ. So there's that move up in the morning. Let's zoom in on that. And a good entry point here, right around 10 a.m. pullback. Aggressive buyers start to come in at this cluster of levels. So that is NQ 21,400 and the QQQ 520 call wall. Sellers are exhausted. Aggressive buyers start to come in. Cumulative volume delta starts to rise. Also, buy stop orders shown by the yellow line helps to fuel that move higher. And that was good for about almost 100 NQ points, from 21,400 to 500, as traders were aggressively buying calls in the Mag 7 stocks. Then pretty much consolidation after that. Let's go check. So in the Mag 7 stock signal, now it looks like some call buyers may be coming in again. All right, let's take a look at some stocks. So there definitely was more action in stocks today. I'm going to start with Amazon. Call buyers in the morning. Amazon trading above its call wall at 215. Rising orange line, traders aggressively buying calls at the open. Take the foot off the gas for a minute, and then the call line makes another peak, and then Amazon moves lower and consolidates after that. So 2 call peaks, but aggressive call buyers right after the open. Let's go to Bookmap. Aggressive buyers above the 215 call wall. That's the opening print. Amazon quickly moves higher as traders were buying calls. Market makers sell the calls. They have to buy stock to edge to the delta exposure. Note the high liquidity at the 220 level. There were some, those are limit sell orders. That's the heat map of Bookmap showing a history limit orders. And there were some sell orders at 220 before the open. More came in at the cash open. Looks like those were consumed. And then more came in as price touched that level. And remember that call peak. Call buyers took the foot off the gas. Now Amazon consolidating. Next stock, Google. All right, Google continues to grind higher. Let's take a look at Hero. Again, call buyers. Google trading above the 172.50 call wall. Looks like price moved above that level, then tested that level. It acted as support. And call buyers definitely driving price in Google today. Let's go back to Bookmap. So I drew in this line right here, 172.50. Price breaks above that level, comes back, tests that level, actually down a little bit lower. Also VWAP. So a deep pullback there to VWAP, another deep pullback to a round number level and VWAP. Note the falling cumulative volume delta. So traders are selling Google, but they're also buying calls. And this indicates to me that the call buyers are definitely driving price in Google today. Yeah, for some reason, Bookmap cut off the lower part of the chart. There's the opening print right around 171. All right, next stock, Meta. So far, Meta today pinging between 617, 618 on the upside and 605 on the downside. Let's see what options traders are doing. Go to Meta. Looks like the call buyers, call sellers, definitely in charge today. I had added Meta here because of this call peak pattern. Call peak reversal pattern. Very reliable pattern. A rush of call buying then shifts abruptly lower from positive delta to negative delta, call buyers to call sellers, and price reverses lower. And then starting right around 10:45, the put buyers join the party. So from around that time up until about 11:35, the blue line and orange line were moving in the same direction and that is a powerful directional indicator, in this case bearish. Then the call buyers came back in around 1135. But the notable thing here is this call peak pattern. Let's go back to Bookmap. Let's zoom in on this. So there's the call peak pattern. A little bit of a trend break. Aggressive sellers starting to come in. Meta makes a series of lower highs. Breaks down below VWAP. All right, Stephen is asking about ES. I'll get back to that in just a minute. All right, so there's Meta. Call peak pattern, very nice short setup there. There's the clues in Bookmap. Cumulative volume delta rising and abruptly flattens right around 1015. Very nice, clear short setup in Meta today. Price targets at the limit orders in the order book. These are limit buy orders. These limit orders often act as a magnet for price with these bigger round numbers. In this case here, 605, absorption at that level, acting as magnets for price. All right, that's Meta. Next stock, Microsoft. Very bullish morning in Microsoft. This looks more like Meta or Tesla. This very sharp move higher in the morning. Let's see what options traders are doing. Let's go to Microsoft. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is another example of a call peak pattern. These vertical lines are indicate a large block order, institutional order, some large entity selling a lot of calls, and one big execution there. There were two of them. And note how price starts to move lower. After that, second institutional order, first call peak. I'd say that really the second call peak, third call peak, and price reverses lower. But first thing in the morning, flow alert comes in, get your attention, signal significant options activity. In this case, traders buying calls. And price reverses lower, doesn't quite make it to the 440 call wall. Now price consolidating. All right, let's go back to Bookmap. There's that second call peak, trend break. Aggressive sellers start to come in. But if you were fast enough and got it on this move higher, it was a great 5-point move higher. All right, that's Microsoft. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. All right, so today NVIDIA is participating in the rally. High liquidity at 145. Limit sellers in the order book. That's been the target for the day. Looks like it has finally been reached. Let's see what options traders are doing in NVIDIA. So the call buyers started to come in right around 10 a.m. Timely flow alert, signaling significant options activity. Another flow alert, just as traders started aggressively selling puts. That didn't last long, but they continued to buy calls. That has slowed down a little bit, but now looks like it is picking up again. So net for the day, they are buying calls and selling puts. Note the positive notional value there. So traders buying calls and selling puts in NVIDIA. And NVIDIA trading above its call wall at 141. Let's go back to Bookmap. All right, so that's where the call buyers came in right around 10 a.m. Let's go back Hero. See, the call line started to shift higher just after 10 a.m. That's when NVIDIA started to move higher. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla call buyers started to come in around 9:40, something like that. Then really took off right around 10:30. Aggressive call buyers. That didn't last long. Took the foot off the gas. Then Tesla consolidated. So really the move was from around 9:40 to 11:10, something like that. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. Go to Tesla. Looks like it was a little bit earlier than 9:40. Let's zoom in on this. So really it's right around 9:35. So move up, consolidation, then another move up. So that's Tesla. All right, does anyone have any stocks they want me to take a look at? Let's take a look at a couple of, all right, BMX wants to take a look at AVAX. Not familiar with that. It may or may not be in Hero. We can take a look. All right, so call buyers. No, that's, let's try that again. BMX, is that right? AVAX? All right, let's take a look at Salesforce. Zoom in on this a bit. Salesforce reported earnings after the close yesterday. I think news outlets were attributing the rally overnight to partially to Salesforce. There were some call buyers that quickly reversed. Nice call peak pattern here, reversal pattern. And there was a note in the founder's note, either this morning or yesterday evening, about Salesforce, indicating it looks like it didn't have much potential to move much higher. And that's exactly what happened today. Call peak pattern right around 368, 369, and price reverses lower. And I think also Marvell reported earnings. Now in this case, call buyers driving price up until about 10:30, took the foot off the gas, and Marvell consolidating. Flow alert comes in just after the cash open. Aggressive call buyers for about the first hour. Take the foot off the gas, Marvell consolidates. All right, any other stocks? Anyone else have stocks they want me to take a look at? All right, so now the call buyers are coming in more aggressively in the S&P 500, and looks like they're liking what Jerome Powell has to say. That is the S&P 500 index. Same thing for the equities. Traders continue to buy calls, S&P moving higher. Looks like to a new high for the day. Let's check Mag 7. Same thing. BMX wants to take a look at Costco. Yeah, we can do that. Traders are buying calls in Costco today. Took the foot off the gas right around 11:15, something like that. A couple of flow alerts. Let's go back to Mag 7. All right, let's go to Bookmap. S&P 500. Finally, a little volatility today. Supported at 6,062 level right after 1:30. Now price up to the upper daily expected move for ES. That is the upper daily expected move for ES. I do calculate that independently of the daily expected move for SPX. Traders continue to buy calls. S&P 500 continue to move higher, making new highs. Looks like some large traders are in here with iceberg orders, shown by the rising light blue line. In this case, fading that move down, buying with iceberg orders they use to hide their size. More iceberg buys. Let's check NASDAQ. Also breaking out to new highs for the day. Breaking out of this range. That's what it looks like, trying to break out of that range. Does anyone else have any stocks they want me to take a look at, or any questions? Go back to the S&P 500. Back to NASDAQ. Oh, Stephen was asking about on the bid at 6,050. Stephen, when was that? I don't see. Stephen, I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with options. This Stephen is asking about the liquidity right around ES 6050. Looks like 49. I think market maker hedging is much more dynamic. Market makers are in the options market makers in the market all day long, continually managing their risk, managing their delta exposure. Let's go back and check Hero. Mag 7 call signals continues to rise. SB equities again, Mag 7 plus 493. Traders continue to buy calls. Same thing for the S&P 500 index. So this is what I'm looking at. Traders continue to buy calls. Oh, Kite Attack is asking about the charm heat map. Sure, we can take a look at that. Let's go to charm pressure. So what we're looking at or looking for here is a potential end of day pinning level. And that would be between, or an area like this. So first of all, we're looking for positive gamma. We zoom out just a little bit more. Let's go to 3. All right, so we're looking at looking for positive gamma, like one of these blue bars over on the left. And then an area between, let's say, buying support below the blue zone and also this here. So buying support below, selling pressure above. So this looks like could be the most likely target. That's right there at that 6,070 level. But it looks like the vortex, the contour lines may be leading up to this level. So maybe that level will develop more. And that's at 6,080. All right, so Kite Attack, there you go. Thanks for asking that. All right, so a couple of potential pinning levels right around 6,080, maybe up to 85 or 70. Hero signal is moving up. That's this blue line right here. Kind of hard to, there you go. The purple line continues to rise. Let's Go back, we'll wrap up with Bookmap. So Bookmap now, ES looks like it is stuck right around the upper daily expected move. Again, that's for ES. And that SPY combo level just below. Check NASDAQ. Slow grind up, breaking out of that range. All right, last call for questions. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your questions and comments. And remember, the sale's going on for Bookmap. Black Friday sale continues. Cyber Monday sale continues. And then the futures contract competition beginning, I believe, next week. All right, everyone. And also remember, jobs report on Friday. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for your questions and comments. And I will see you on Monday. Thanks. Bye.